Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we are going to complete this front-end challenge from Dev Challenges. So let me preview the challenge, what the challenge is. So we are going to create this website where we have the collection of coffees and we have two buttons. So one button shows all products. So as you can see, it is currently showing all products, and whenever I click on available now, only the coffees which are available currently will be shown. So we are going to implement the filter method of JavaScript, and for this project we are going to use Next.js and Tailwind CSS, and this project will be fully responsive. So this is how it will look on mobile screen. If I reduce my screen size, so this is how it will be looking on my mobile screen, and if I increase the screen size a little bit, this is how it will be looking on tablet screen. And as you have seen earlier, this is how it will be looking on our desktop screen or bigger screens. So yeah guys, let me go back to my VS Code and start creating it from scratch. Alright, then as you can see, I've created a simple next app using pnpm. So let's go to our page.tsx file, and so we don't need all this text, so delete all this. We also don't require these class names for the time being, so remove this and save the file. If I save the file and go back to our browser, as you can see, it will be blank. So let's do one thing. Let's go to our globals.css file and clear this black background. Save this. As you can see, the background is now white. Let's do one thing. Let's go to our layout.tsx file and we need to change this font to DM Sans. So select all the enter that are written and write DM Sans. Now we need to remove some of the things like this so that the error goes. So copy this and come back here and paste it here. Now the error will go, and what we can do, we can go to our page.tsx file and start creating our project. So in our page.tsx file, this is our main tag. So this will have a class name of width full, minimum height of screen. Now the background color will be something which we need to write in this bracket so that it matches. So the background color will be 11315. Then we will have a flex property. Items will be center and it will be justify center. Now within this main tag, we'll create another div tag, and this div tag will have a class name of width full. It will have an absolute property. Top will be 0, top 0, and left will be 0, left 0. And within this, we will import our image from next image. So import our image from next image, and this will require a src tag and an alt tag. So alt, let's give the alt as background image of cafe. So this image will be our this one. So if I go back to my final project, as you can see, this is our background image for our cafe. So we need to import that. So that image is in our public folder and I have imported it before. Let me import that and show it to you. Alright, as you can see, I have imported the image, and we need to copy this and paste it here. So save this. If I go back to the browser, as you can see, the image is visible. Now let's do one thing. This image element will also have some class name. So the class name will be width full, height will be 30vh. It will have an object cover property, and it will also have a priority attribute. So it will be priority. Now after this background image, we need to create this box which will contain our coffee listing cards. So let's create that. So just below this div, create another div. So this div will have a class name, will have some class name, and the bg color will be this one, hashtag 1b 1d 1f. It will have a padding of 6. In md screen or above, it will have a padding of 12. It will have a rounded lg property. The z index will be 50 and the margin top will be 32. So 32. It will have a relative property, and the overflow will be hidden. And let's go back to our project. As you can see, the box is visible. Now we have to create this text along with this vector image. So let's do that. So first, let us create that hero text. So copy this and paste it here, and this h2 element will have some class names, like the text color will be a particular color. So it will be hashtag FEF7EE. It will have a text of 32 pixel. So 32 pixel. Then it will have a text center property, and it will have font bold. Alright, now after this h2, we will have a div which will have our paragraph along with this buttons. So let's copy this paragraph from here and come back here, and within this div create another p tag and paste the paragraph there. Now this p tag, or this p element rather I can say, will have a class name of text sm. In empty screen it will have a text of base which is 16 pixel. Font will be medium, so the text color will be a particular color, so it will be within this bracket. So give a hashtag here, and the color will be 6F757C. All right, it will have a text center property, text center. It will have a width of 250 pixel, and in empty screen or above, the width will be 500 pixel. So the width will be 500 pixel. Now let's save this and go back to our browser, and as you can see, our paragraph is visible along with this padding which we have provided in the div. Alright, now below this div we will create another div. Now this div will have a class name of flex. It will have items center, and the SpaceX property will be 6, and the margin y will be 4. Now within this div we will create our button component which will have this all products and available products. But before that, we will have some class name for our parent div as well, which holds our paragraph as well as these buttons. So this parent div will have a class name of flex. The items will be center, and also give a flex call property as we want to flex as the direction will be column. So flex call, the space y will be 5. Now let's create the button component. So in our src folder we can create another folder, named it as components, and within this component we can create a file and name it as button.tss. Type here RAFC, which will create a React functional component, and this RAFC snippet is coming from an extension called A7 React Redux extension. So you can install that and you can get this snippet. Now this button.tsx component will return a simple button. So what we can do, we can receive props here. So this button component will receive props such as the first prop will be children, then the second prop will be class names, and we will have an on-click property as well. As we are using TypeScript, we need to specify the types of these props. So these props will have a type of, let's say for the children, it will be React node, and for class name it will be string, and for on click it will be mouse event handler. So mouse event handler, this one. Alright, now save this. In this button we can pass it through attributes. So the on click will have on click, then we will have our class name which will hold our class names, which will be coming from our page.tsx file. So class name, then within this button we can write a curly braces and write here children. Alright, now save this. Let's go to our page.tsx file and let's create our buttons. So within this div, what we can do, we can import our button component like this, and this button component will have a text of all products. Alright, now this will show an error because it is important to give all the props. So let's go to our button component and let's do one thing, let's make this optional. Now this will show error because it's mandatory to give all the properties. So let's do one thing, let's go to our button.tsx file and let's change this to optional. So the class name will be optional and the on click functionality will be optional. Now if I save this and go back, as you can see the error is gone. We will be giving the class name as well as on click property, so we will give that afterwards. So let's create that another button, so duplicate it, and this will be available now. So if I save this and go back, as you can see, our both of the buttons are visible. Now let's do one thing. Now we need to add a conditional class name on this button, so that whenever we click on available now, the background will be a certain color, and whenever we click on all products, the background color will be certain color. As you can see, when the active state is in all products, the background is gray, but as you can see, the background for available now is not gray. So whenever we switch to available now, as you can see, the background of this color has changed. So to do that, we need some states, but before that, let's fetch our data from an API, so that we can pass it to a component and create this coffee listing cards. So we will have our card component just below this div, which holds our button. So right here, card, and this is showing error because we don't have any card component. So let's create one. So in our component folder, let's create a card.tsx and type here RAFCE. It will create a React functional component, and save this. Now let's go to our page.tsx file and let's import it. And let's import this. Now this will not show any error. Now what we can do, we need to fetch our data. Alright, now the error is gone. So let's fetch our data. But before fetching our data, we need to store our data as we need to think to store our data as well. So to store our data, we need to create some states, and in Next.js we cannot create state like that because we need to specify this page as client component, otherwise it will show an error. So right here client, right here use client. Now with this, it will convert this server side page to a client page, and now we can create the state. So const, let's name it as data and set data. Now this will store our data which is coming from that API. Now we will be using useState, and the data which we are receiving is an array. So if I show you the data, as you can see, this is an array of objects. So that's why we are using this second bracket. Now as we are using TypeScript as well with our Next.js, we can create some types for this. So what we can do, in our source folder, we can create a file and name it as types.ts, and within this we can create our types. Right here, export interface coffee. Now you can name it whatever you want. So give here curly braces, and this will have an ID of number. Now this type is coming from this data. As you can see, the ID is number, name is a string, image is also a string. So let me do that and show you what will be the types. So these are the types which we'll be receiving from that API. So save this and come back to our page.tsx file, and what we can do, we can write this arrow, and within this arrow we can write coffee. Now this will be imported from types. Now this will be an array. So save this. Alright, now let's fetch our data. So we can do that using use effect. So use effect, we will have a callback and dependency array. The dependency array will be within this bracket. Now within this bracket, what we can write const. Now within this use effect, what we can write const fetch data. Now we are creating another function within use effect because we want our data to be fetched in asynchronous way. Otherwise, in use effect you cannot write async directly. So just type like this, and within this we can create a try catch block, and within this try block we can write const fetched data equals await will be fetch, and we need to get that API. So just copy this from here and paste it here. All right, Now after that, what we can do, we can get the response from there. So const response will be having a type of this, and we need to also give await here. So await fetch data dot, now this will be fetched data dot json. Now this will convert the data which we are receiving from this API to JSON format, and after that what we can do, we can store our data which we received in our set data. So set data, it will be response. Now after that, what we can do, come back here and write fetch data. So we need to call our function, otherwise it will not work. Now we have received our data, but we need to also add the feature of filtered data. To add the features of filtering our data, we need to create another state. So let's name it as filter data and set filter data, and this will be a use state as well. So use state, and this will be also having type of coffee which we are receiving from our types file, and this will be also an array. And after that, we need to create another state so that we can toggle our buttons. So if I go back to my final project, there are two buttons. So whenever we click on all products, it shows all products, and same goes for available now, it only shows all the products which are available. So to enable this feature, we need to create another state so that we can handle this feature. All right, so let's name it as show all and set show all. All right, now this will be a simple use state, and it will have a boolean property. So it will be boolean, either it will be false or true. So at first it will be true. All right, now we will be creating a function which will handle that filter data. So const, so let's create that function first. So that will be const, let's name it as handle filter data. Let's make an arrow object, and within this we can write if show all is clicked. If we have clicked show all, the set filter data will have all the data which has this data state, and otherwise we will create a filter function. So const data filtered, so filtered, it will be data dot filter. So we are applying filter method on these data which holds all of our data. So data dot filter. Now within this we will write coffee, and we can return coffee dot available. All right, now we are doing this because we need only those coffee names which are available. All right, after that we can write set filter data to data filter. All right, now save this. Now after that, we need to create another use effect so that it handles all these use effects properly. So create here use effect. Now this use effect will only have handle filter data. So whenever we refresh our page, it will call the handle filter data function, and this will have a dependency array of show all, and it will also have a dependency array of data. All right, we have completed all the functions and states that are required for this project. Now let's come back to our button and fix that. So our first button, which has all product sentence within it, will have an on click property, and this on click property will have a anonymous function within it, and right here set show all to true, set show all to true. Now what this function will do, whenever we click on all products, it will show all the products. So it will be true, and it will also have some class names. So let's write that. So the class names will be dynamic. So give a curly braces, and after that we need to write this backtick. All right, now give here a padding of 4. It will have a py of 2, and it will have a rounded of lg. Then it will have a particular text color, so it will be text hashtag fe f7 double e. Then it will have a text sm property, and the font will be semi bold. After that, what we can do, we can write up. After that, we need to write $sign, then create this curly braces so that we can have a variable within this backticks. So we can write if show all is clicked, then the bg color will be bg, then the bg color will be bg of hashtag 6f757c. Otherwise it will be null. All right, now similarly our second button will also have some on click property and class names, so let's write that. So this will have a on click property of set show all to false. So if I do set show all to false, it will only show those coffee which are available. Now this button will also have some class names, so right here class names, it will be dynamic as well. Give you a backtick, and this will also have the same property. So let's copy this and paste it here. Now after that, write $sign and give curly braces. Now after this, we need to copy this condition, but before that, remove this. We need to copy this condition. So copy it and paste it here. Now this will be not shown, so give here exclamation sign. Now save this. Alright, our main page is done. Now this will be, now it will be not showing in our project, but if I click on available now, as you can see, the background is changing, and if I click on available products, the available now is blank. Alright, so what we can do, in our card component we can pass the data as this using props. So let's go to our card component, otherwise it will show error. Now in our card component, this will be a simple Tailwind CSS class name, but before that, let me show you how we can receive the data. So here within this we can write data, and this data will be coming from, will be having a type of coffee. All right, now as you can see, the error is gone. So save this and come back here. All right, now what we can do, we need to simply map over the data which we will be receiving from our page.tsx file. So let me do that and show it to you, as it is pretty simple. As it is pretty simple to map over our data. So what we can do, as we have received our data, we need to map over that and create those cards. So let me do that and show it to you how it's done. Alright, so let me show you what I have done. So first of all, we have created a div, which is our parent div. Now this has some class names like grid calls 1, and in MD screen or above, it will have a grid calls 2, and in Excel screen, it will have a grid calls of 3. Now this I have done because of that responsive, because I want to make it responsive. So the gap will be 10. Normally the width will be 290 pixel, height is fit, and whenever the skin size is above MD, the width will be fit. It will have an item center property and justify center property. Then we are simply mapping over our data as we are receiving an array of data over it. So data.map, we are receiving coffee and IDX. And after that, I've created a div. Now this div only has this key index of IDX, and this key index is important so that React will know that how to organize, and if at all an item is removed from that list, React will know that which item is removed. Now after that, I have created another div within that, and this has a class name of relative. Now within this div, I have image which holds our coffee image. After that, I have written all tag. It's important as we are using image element which is coming from Next.js. Now after that, what I have done, I have conditionally rendered that popular tag. If I go back to my project, now if I go back to project, it will show an error. So this error is common in Next.js. As we are using images from another server, we need to write here hostname. So open this doc which this error is suggesting, and let's go to our Next.js doc. We need to create this. So what we can do, we need to simply copy this, come back to our Next.js project. Let's go to our next.config.mgs, and within this curly braces we can paste it. Now we don't need this port and path name, so remove this, and we need to replace this host name with the host name which is flashing over here. So the host name will be this one. So copy this and simply paste it here. Now if I save this error will be gone. And alright, if I refresh the page, as you can see, the pictures are visible, and if I click on available now, it's also working. So let's go to our VS Code and let me explain what I've done here. So I have conditionally rendered this popular tag here. As you can see, only those which has this popular tag will be shown here, otherwise it will not show in any of the cards. After that, we have this name and price div which holds our name and price. It's pretty simple. It has some class names related to this project, and after that we will have our rating and available section. So this div has some class name like flex, item center, justify center, and after that I have simply conditionally rendered the rating as well. So if there's rating, show the star field, and if there is no rating, so this will be star no field. So these images are in this public folder, so I have imported here and used it. After that, I have simply returned coffee rating. After that, we have this span which has these votes, how many votes are there for each of the coffees. And after that, I have returned this coffee available, and only those which are sold out is visible, as you can see. After that, I have written this curly braces, and within this I have returned the sold out component. So as you can see, this coffee particularly is sold out, so the sold out tag will be visible here. Now if I click on available now, the sold out card will be gone, and only those which are available is visible. Now if I reduce the screen size, right, as you can see, this is how it's looking on mobile screen. And if I increase the screen size a bit, this is how it will be looking on tablet screen or something in between of mobile and desktop. So if I increase the size to full, as you can see, this is how it will be looking in desktop screen. So with this, we have completed our project. Hit the like button, share it, and comment down below if you liked this video or not. And if you require this code, the link to the GitHub repo will be in the description below, so you can grab it from there. And see you again in the next one. Till then, peace.